Hi guys, this is Tina. Welcome back to my channel. So I'm just here to do a little bit more on the journal that we're working on using the Flights of Fancy. Again, I'm using my husband's phone, so I'm just going to try and alter my camera setup a little bit. Hopefully that's a little bit better. Okay. Yeah, just not used to using a phone, so it's a little bit disconcerting when it's such a small screen, I find. So what I might do is just quickly cut around. In the last video we just popped on this plain coffee dyed paper onto the cover, the inside of the front and the back covers. So I'm just trimming that off now so that I've got a more manageable journal to handle. So we'll just trim that down. Oops. Might have actually trimmed into that envelope. I mean, if you do things like that, you know, I have done that before, and I might have even done it then. Oh, I don't think I did, but if you do ever do things like that, I mean, you can just poke your glue into where you've slit and just glue it back together. You know, it's not the end of the world, so don't panic. I mean, we all do things like that sometimes, don't we? Some more than others. I do things like that quite often because I am very clumsy. So, you know, but don't panic, because really there's nothing that you can't get around with a little bit of glue or just altering slightly. So it's, you know, don't kind of be too mortified and think, oh no. I mean, when I first started crafting, if I made a mistake, that was it. It just went in the bin. And of course, you know, there are some projects that are less forgiving than others, but I mean, junk journals in particular, there's no need to strive for perfection as such. I mean, so long as it all looks nice once it's put together, I mean, in my opinion, that's what a junk journal is. So, you know, don't kind of get too worried. So, right, I've cut that down so it's a bit more manageable. Plus, I wanted to get the little scraps of the paper, because obviously in the last video we just began to make the little inserts and the journaling cards and things, and I just thought, brilliant, I will get a couple of scraps of paper from using those. So just going to pull in some of my bits and pieces that we've got left. So I've got here some book page, so I'm just going to then cut that down. So I'm going to just pop these to one side, you know, down on the floor, so they're not in my way, and I'm just going to glue around here like that. Okay, and then just pop this on. Oops. Pop that on there, trying to get it reasonably straight, and then again I'm just going to spread that out with the card like that. Oh, so I seem to have two pairs of scissors suddenly on the go, so goodness knows what that's about. The worst of it is I'll probably lose them both in a minute and won't even have one pair. So we then just trim down just to make a little journaling card shape. Just pop those scraps in the bag next to me that I use as my rubbish bin. So I might just tear down a little piece of this that we can just pop on there. So I'm just going to cut that down here. Let me just check that I'm in frame and that I am filming. Oops, only just in frame. Let me push this up. I try and use this piece of paper as a bit of a guide. And sometimes obviously it works better than others, but you know, obviously it's not fixed on the desk, so it's inclined to move around as well, which probably isn't the best the best technique, but never mind. Right, so I'll just pop that one down. Like that, and then maybe pop a flower on. I'm just going to bring in the flower pieces that I've got. Actually, I might prefer one of these ones, which I thought I had one torn out already, so I think I'll just use that. Okay, so I'm just going to glue that down. As I say, I mean, you really don't have to have the kit that I'm using to be following along. You can use any pieces that you've got. I mean, they're pretty basic pieces. I mean, for instance, on here, it's just book page, a little bit of background paper and some flowers. So, you know, please don't feel, oh no, I haven't got the kit, I can't do this. You honestly can. So don't be discouraged. Right, just having a look. I think what we'll do, I'm just using up all the pieces that are just floating about now on the desk. So we could do that, or again, you know, we could use one of the words. So let me just bring the words back, or wherever they are. Oh, come on. So let's try and go for these, because then, oops, I'm cutting them off the sheet, which otherwise they're just lingering around. So let's do treasured, like that. Oops. And then do we want a little tiny bit of bling? Actually, I've got the strip of 3 there, so I'm just going to place that on. So just before I glue that down, I'm going to ink up the book page. So I'm just going to glue that onto the fabric, and then that's kind of gluing down whilst I'm doing that. So I'll just pop that to one side. Try not to move it too far out of my way, because then I will never be able to see it again. There we go. And actually, I just ink this up a little bit. I should have done that again before sticking on the fabric, but just sometimes forget these things, don't you? So there we go. I'm just going to pop that down. Like that. Actually, I'm going to leave the lid off, because I'm going to probably use that to put my bling on. So pop that there, like that. Okay, and a bit of bling. Just pop it on that side, I think. Okay, so I mean, that looks really pretty, doesn't it? And you know, of course, you could round the corners. So I'll just do that. Don't have to, but sometimes it's nice to, and sometimes it's, you know, I prefer to leave them as they are. It's just nice to mix it up, really, and have a few different styles. So there we go. That's really pretty, isn't it? Right, that's that one. Now I'm going to take in the sheet music that I coffee dyed. So let me find that. Okay, and we've got the man. Well, hopefully I've got the man. Yeah. For a moment I thought, oh no, I've actually lost him now. I've got the man now tied up with threads. I just love how he looks on that coffee dyed paper. Just, wow, he looks great, doesn't he? So what I'm going to do, I think, is cut a tag shape to pop him onto a tag, I think. So just going to chop it down here, like that, and then up here. Now, obviously, I mean, I have watched different people make tags, and some people have a method, some people have a formula. I don't. I mean, as usual, I don't measure anything. I just do what suits me at the time. So, you know, you can then alter your tags to the size that you want them to be. So I like having that flexibility. Oh, you see? I mean, I like that side now. So it's really great to just suit yourself, I think. But equally, some people, of course, you know, they find that a template or something like that, or measuring them out and having them a proper regulated size, they find that very helpful. So of course, do what you must do and what you find helpful for you. Personally, I would find the measuring and making a specific size tag, I would find that quite tedious and a protracted way of doing it. I think it would also throw me a little bit, and I would end up making mistakes, and you know, just I would find things don't flow. I mean, as you can see, I've now just matched that up, but I can just bring that, whoops, bring that back. Oh well, that will do, because we're going to cut the corners off anyway and make it tag shaped. So I'm just going to cut that down, and I guess that was a classic example of, if you make a mistake, it doesn't matter. They're just junk journals, you know, they're not supposed to be absolutely perfect, and there's no rules. I mean, it's whatever you like to do, whatever you like the look of. I think anyway. I mean, I sometimes watch videos and think, oh, that looks really neat and really perfect, and mine are much more shabby chic looking than that. But I like that appearance, and you know, we're all different, aren't we? That's what makes it fun to do. If we were all making the same thing, it would be pretty dull. So I just think, don't get too hung up on, oh no, it should look like this, it should look like that. Just go for how you want to do it. So that's my opinion. I'm not saying that's right, but that's how I like to think of the craft thing, or the junk journal thing. Now, do we like him with the frame or without the frame? Without the frame. I mean, to be honest, it sounds really strange, but I mean, this would be the most boring tag I've ever made, I think, to just leave it like that. But I just feel like he doesn't need anything else. He looks so dapper and so nice on there. I don't really even think he needs anything. What do you think? Let me just try a piece of doily behind him, just in case. No, I'd hate to think that you are all sat there shouting, oh my gosh, yes, he does need something else. And I'm just sat here in ignorance going, oh, he looks lovely as he is. So I'm just going to rummage through, find my other doily piece, tear that down. Just see whether he needs a bit of doily. Oh, that's nice, isn't it? So I'm going to just add a bit of doily on there. So, okay. So this is hence why I've popped another doily in the kit. So hopefully then you've got enough pieces to be able to layer up should you want to. But I mean, I do always tear my doilies up well, no, not always. I mean, obviously there are times when I don't, but on the whole I do. I mean, of course, it makes it go a lot further. So, you know, if you use them in their entirety, they're not going to last that long. And to be honest, I don't think there's that many instances where you need to, because I think the majority of the time they get covered up anyway. So it's almost a waste to use them in their entirety, because you then can't really see them. So I might pop him there so that I cover up that edge piece of the doily. Oh, I just love how he looks on there. Just, oh, really love it. He's so, just dapper, really. Just dapper and sophisticated looking, and of the era. I just really love how that looks. You know, for me, that just, oh, yummy. Looks great. So I'm just going to pop on a little flower. Like that. Okay. And I'm just going to now just cut a couple of corners. So I'm just going to cut one there. Oops. And then I'm going to take that across to make my other corner sort of similar size, hopefully. Like that. Okay. And of course, you know, you could cut that down now. So I might just cut a little bit off the bottom, because otherwise we've got a lot of white space. And then I might just go around the edge with my vintage photo. Don't have to, but just makes it stand out a little bit more, maybe. Like that. Oh, I love that tag. I just, when I collected the bits from the garden, and he was just plonked on the music, the sheet music, I just thought he looked really awesome on there. So I just really wanted to include him on some sheet music, because I just thought he looked so brilliant on there. I don't know why, but for some reason he just looked really awesome to me. Right. Now, I'm wondering, do we want to have a big sort of tab like that? Or we could have some string. What do you think? Now, just having a look through, because that would be over his face, which that's slightly ridiculous, isn't it? We've just covered him up completely, because I just thought, oh, that might look really nice, but no, it would not look nice. It just covers him up, just completely covers him up. So no, I'm not going to have that. Let me have a look. So we've got this little sliver here, so I'm just going to cut this down like that, and I'm going to make a baby tag. And what I'm going to do, I think, is just pop on a tiny bit of the sheet music, just a little tiny strip down the middle. I'm just going to glue that down. Yeah, okay. I'm going to have to stand up in a second and check that I'm filming and in frame. I mean, it just sounds really paranoid, doesn't it? But when you're filming from something different, I mean, there's nothing more irritating than thinking you've been filming and finding that you haven't. Especially if you're doing something as a series and you've only got X number of pieces, because then once they're gone, they're gone. So for instance, this, you know, I'm trying to show you how I'm using the kit. And once it's gone, it's gone. So I have no idea what that hideous noise is outside. Maybe it's our neighbour's children, I don't know. I have no idea what that noise is. Or maybe it's my own children, I don't know. No idea. Right. So I'm just going to pop a page protector. It's not a page protector. Why? Why do I always call it that? All the time. I call it that all the time. I have no idea what that's about. And then just going to dab a bit of glue on this one. So obviously there aren't hole reinforcers in the kit either, so that's an add-on, that's an addition to the physical kit. Okay, I like how that looks. So let's just see if we can just thread the string through. Oops. Come on. Let's chop that down. Okay, so it's just on the string, and I just think that looks lovely. So that's another little tag done. So we've got 3. Right, now I saved the background pages, a couple of the background pages. I mean, not in their entirety. This one, as you can see, is not a complete page. But I thought I would save it to try and make a couple of other sort of bits rather than just all journaling cards. So for instance here, I'm just going to fold this in, and I'm just going to cut that there, I think. So again, I've got some more that I'll be able to do something else in a moment, but this one here, I'm just going to cut it down slightly. In fact, you probably could just do that. Just trim that up because it's obviously not very straight. Right, that's it. Oh, no, still not very straight. So just trim down there like that. I'm just going to round the corners. Oops. Come on. Oops. Come on. Right. And then I'm just going to pop in a couple of extra sheets of coffee dyed paper. So I'm just having a look through my stash here. I've got some coffee dyed paper. This was just some calendar page, as you can see. So I'm just going to pop that in. Like that, and I'm just going to cut it down. Now again, you know, I'm not going to be too fussy about how I do that, so I'm just going to trim it across here at the bottom, and then I'm just going to pop that in there like that. So I'm just going to trim it down at the edge now, just so as it fits a bit better. Trim it down there. Okie dokie. Now I'm going to then, because obviously I haven't got my sewing machine here, if I had my sewing machine I would just stitch those pages in. I don't, unfortunately. I do have my stapler. Oops, lucky I checked, it's got green staples in it. So let me just see if I've got some staples. So not using my tiny stapler here, I'm just using my normal stapler. I've got these blue ones actually, which I wasn't intending on using coloured staples. Oh gosh, sorry. My drawer is so stuffed full of stuff. So I'm just going to use these blue ones because obviously it's quite a blue based kit. So There we go. And then obviously that's probably not going to reach, not quite, which is a shame. So I'm just going to kind of fold that over like that, just so that I can reach in. And I know that you can obviously open the stapler out and do it, but I don't seem to get on with that method very well, so I'm not going to try that. Just, you know, this is fine and this works fine for me. So that's a little booklet that you can obviously then pop in somewhere, and then you could just whoops, pop something else on there. Might just pop those little flowers on like that. Okay. Right. Okay, so there's a little booklet. So that's from that piece. So I'll just pop that to one side. And then we've got now this offcut, which we could make a long skinny tag. So let's cut that down. Now you don't have to, but I'm going to back this on to here. I mean, this has been coffee dyed, so it's not about the colour, but because I like my tags quite thick, so I'm just going to back that onto that offcut of paper. So I'm just going to glue that down. And as I say, I mean, you really don't have to do this. I just like my tags pretty thick, so pretty sort of rigid. I don't really know whether other people tend to back them or not. I think it's some and some. You know, I sometimes see people back them and sometimes they don't. Oh no, where's my card gone? Can't see it. Oh, there it is. Right, there we go. And we just cut that down. Trim it down the side. And again, I mean, I just like to go in and trim it in because that just grabs the glue. Like that. I'm just going to trim it there. Okay, so bin those pieces and then just having a look, seeing what bits and bobs we've got here. So we've got this piece here that we haven't used yet. So we could have that on there, although that's quite wide on that piece actually, so maybe not that. Let's have a look. I've got this tiny piece here, which is really nice, isn't it? So just having a rummage. Where's my other vellum pieces? Well, they're not vellum, they're tracing paper. So I love those frames. But I'm just going to see what this looks like first. Again, this one might be a bit wide, but we'll just have a look. Okay. I mean, if you watch my channel, you'll know I just absolutely love frames. Yeah, for me, frames look good on everything. Wherever you put a frame, it looks great. I don't know why I like them, but I just do. Actually, just suddenly thought of the paper bag. So this is just one of the paper bags that I haven't used yet. And I thought, actually, I think that might look better on there. So I might just tear down a little bit of the sheet music. Like that. Oops. Oh, that's nice, isn't it? Yeah, I might have to do that, I think, instead. So what I might do is trim that down a little bit more at the bottom. So So hopefully I can kind of move up there. Yep, I really like that. So complete U-turn there of what I was starting out doing. It was just that as I was rummaging through trying to find those tracing paper bits, I just stumbled across that paper bag, which I'd obviously forgotten about, and I thought, oh, actually, this might be the opportunity to do that vellum thing, or, you know, that tracing paper thing. So I'm going to cut that down slightly at the top. Like that. Actually, I prefer it down there, I think, so I'm going to pop it down there. So again, I'm just going to use this Fabri-Tac because hopefully that's even more invisible. And I just do some little dots around on the darker pieces. Pick it up. Okay. Just press that down, and then just going to pop that flower on there. Okay. Oh, that looks so nice, doesn't it? It's just strange, isn't it, how we just have these U-turns. You know, we're heading off in one direction, then suddenly spot something else and, whoa, that looks better, or that's calling me now. So I hope I'm not the only person who does that. I'm sure I can't be. But it's the same when talking, really. You know, talking about one thing, and then the conversation just has a way of going off on a complete tangent, and then normally I forget what I was originally saying. And again, I mean, I'm sure I can't be the only person who does that. So, right. Might just pop those on there, or I'll just pop those on the back. Do you know what I'm going to do actually is I'm going to take some of the book page. Oh, not that piece, hold on. Right, let's have a look. I'm going to have it on sideways, doesn't matter, that's fine. So I'm going to glue that down like that. Oops. Pop that down there. Because I just want a little bit of background, really, that's all. So press that down, then I'm going to cut that out like that. And then I'm just going to stick that onto some card. So again, just grabbing that coffee dyed cardstock. So I mean, again, the cardstock, the just plain, does not come in the physical kit. So this is something you would have to add on, you know, that you would have to get hold of yourself. There we go. And then just cut that out. Like that. Now, originally I was doing this to try and fit this into that bag, so it does just about fit. Just going to slim it down slightly on this side. Slim it down, trim it down, because then it's going to be sliding in and out that bag even easier. So, okay. And then I'm just going to pop those flowers on there. Like that. And again, we'll just ink around that slightly. And I don't know whether you can see that, but look at the difference in those flowers. If you noticed when I first tore them out, as soon as you ink them up, they just look 100% better. So, you know, when you're tearing or cutting things, don't be too put off, because once you ink around it, it will take on a bit of a different appearance, I think. So hopefully you guys think that too. So I'm going to pop that in there. Now I'm just wondering whether we want a little bit of lace across the top. So again, I'm just going to bring my lace in, and I'm going to just cut a strip here. Might as well just cut a strip, because then I've got some if I wanted to use anything for anything else. Or we could have a little tab. So if I just cut that down. Oops. I'll just pop a little bit of glue there. Oops. Actually, I'm going to have this piece at the front, and then a bit of glue on the back. Okay, that's it. Glue it down. Like that. Okay, do we want a bit of glue on there? I mean, that looks quite nice. Let me just see how that would look poking out from the bag. Because obviously the bag's quite pink, so... Oh, it looks quite nice actually. Or, actually, I've just thought we could have a bit of bling on there. So, let's just... Where has that gone now? Honestly, I mean, you must watch these videos and just think, well, all she does is constantly be saying, where's that gone? Where's that gone? Every time that I come to use, I mean, pretty much literally every single thing, that's it. I've lost it. Never to be found again. I mean, I know I'm laughing, but you maybe are not laughing. You maybe are very irritated. So, right, here we go. So maybe the pearl, that looks nice, doesn't it? Okay, actually I'm just going to glue that onto there. Okay. Oh, come on. Oops. Oh gosh, come on. I was doing so well with not sticking my fingers to anything recently. And it seems now it's all gone to pot again. Right, so how cute is that? Let me just check what time we're up to. Okay, 35 minutes. So we can probably do one more, maybe two if I'm fast. Probably that's ambitious. Right, we did glue this, didn't we, onto the thingamajiggy. What am I trying to say? What am I trying to say? The background? You know, to stiffen it. Right, just going to trim here. Let's just commit to this, because I'm trying to do this quickly, and obviously if I'm not committing to it. I won't be doing it quickly because I'll be chopping and changing my mind. So let's just pop that on. Okay, actually, I've just thought, I've got a couple of sayings on here. I think they're going to be too wide for it. Oh no. Well, I've got this one, live in harmony. So I'm just going to tear that out. So not cutting it, but tearing it this time. Oh, that's nice, isn't it? Now I just wonder whether I could just back that onto here. Do you think? Oh, that's quite nice. Right, let's just tear around this. So just tear that, oops, tear that down. Come on, come on. Right, oops. Okay. So, oops, piece of hair there. And then we could have that there. That's quite nice, isn't it? I mean, something a bit different. You know, it's nice to have different looking things, isn't it? So we've got some quite colourless ones. Not colourless, but more subtle and neutral. And it's nice to have some that are not so subtle and neutral. So I'm just going to ink this up like that. I'm just going to pop that on there like that. And then these flowers, do we want those ones? I don't think we've actually used those at all in here, so it might be nice to use those, or just having a look. No. Let me just cut out another different flower just in case I'd prefer a different one. Well, I say that. That's if I can actually find them at all. They're buried somewhere. Oh, here we go. Ah, here we go. I mean, these are quite nice, aren't they? And I think we've only used those in one other place. So let's just cut around that. There we go. Just thought that might look quite striking with that pretty blue colour. So cut that down. Oops, come on. Oh, it might be too big. So I have it above. Could have it above, I guess. Well, that's quite nice, isn't it? Now, I would never have done that, but that looks really good. Sometimes it's just nice to mix things up and do something that totally, you know, different to what you would normally do. And it can just surprise you and look really, really effective. Right, let's just have a look and see whether we want that. Ooh, now. Right, let me just cut this down. I'm just going to cut this here. So just cut that there. And here. Oops, actually, before I cut that, because I wonder whether that's going to be too much if I had lace at the top and in the middle. Unless we have that more to the side. Oh, that's quite an okay balance, isn't it? So, again, let's take the Fabri-Tac and we'll just glue that onto the lace. Okay. like that. And then I'm going to glue that right over to the side. Oops. Because I don't want it looking like it's in the middle and then having the lace running across at the top, because it will look a bit symmetrical. So having it over to the side just sort of balances that out a bit better, I think. So I'm just going to cut that down. And again, I've just left that overhanging slightly so it's not flush with the edge of the tag, which I quite like. And then I'm going to just pop some lace across the top. But what I might do is rough around the edge of this one, because I like doing that on tags, and I don't think I've done that on any so far. So just rough around that. It just adds a bit more texture and gives it a bit more of a dimensional look. So again, just ink that up where I've ruffled around. Okay, and then just ink that a little bit. And then just pop some glue at the top, and we're just going to glue that lace on the top. And I'm just popping that down so as I've got the holy lace there, rather than more of the solid, if that makes sense. So I just think that's really nice. So I'm just going to cut this off here and here. Oh, how pretty is that? I just really love how that looks. Right, so going to now have a look at the time. We're at 47 minutes, so that's probably all we've got time for today. So we still haven't got round to actually filling the journal yet, but hopefully we're going to get onto that in the next episode. So I hope that you'll join me for the next one, and hope that you're having fun if you're making your own journal. And thanks very much for watching. Thanks then, bye.